Guess what they said today when I went to the liars at the doctor's office said today? The liars, those liars.
Yeah, what did they say?
Where they try and pull off of me. 5'4.5" is what they tried to pull on me.
Is that really?
Yeah, it's really true.
Oh my God.
And I argued. I tried to tiptoe it.
Right.
She said, "Okay, 5'5". That was the last thing
Nice.
before she hesitantly thinking that her license might be taken away.
Right.
5'4.5". I didn't see that coming. Why is it so funny? It's so funny to the tall people.
I don't think of you as tiny like that. You take up a lot of space. So.
I know. I think my not the ego, but something. I have a blustery quality.
But I don't necessarily like my wife is just about your height. And I don't really think of her as that much smaller to me. But then I'll see a picture and I'm like, oh, I'm Chewbacca.
Right. But you've had sex with your wife more than you've had sex with me.
Much more.
But I'm
much more effective. Much more effectively, at least.
Well, I liked it. Gay references. Well, these aren't gay references. These are like homophobic. Not homophobic. They're time in memoriam. Time in memoriam. Men have been uncomfortable about their sexuality.
Right, and then overcompensated in one direction or the other.
Right. So, like my friend Bill, who's my comedy partner, I would often come to our rehearsals, and not liking our rehearsals, I would pretend to sexually attack him.
Wow.
I would hump on him, and he's very strong. He'd throw me off. And it was all under the guise of good, clean fun.
Well, good.
But I do
didn't make it as a comedy team.
But
we're a very popular sex act in Tijuana.
I was going to come in here today and say, 1 week, baby.
Has it been a week? Or it hasn't
been
a week.
No, we taped late.
Yeah. But it's been
4 days
of
no.
Tell us.
He who he shall. I have not made a Gervais-oriented tweet since last Thursday.
It's been fantastic.
And the thing about it was, at first, I was frightened it would really hurt my career, not referencing it. I really was concerned that people not seeing me as a petty, insecure, sad man who yells into the abyss, "I am so funny." You know what's amazing though is that okay. So in other words, I thought my career it has not affected my career as negatively as I thought.
That's fantastic. That's what you need is that kind of positive reinforcement over the course of 3 days.
But do you think that have I not put into my search in Twitter his name? Do you think that I've stopped doing that?
No, I don't think so. I think this,
that's normal.
As our friend Frank Conniff would say, progress, not perfection.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. No, I'm very proud of you. I'm impressed. I know I actually saw a couple shots getting fired across the bow because they tagged me too.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And no response.
No response. Well, some of those people could have been muted.
Yeah,
but no comment.
Yeah,
no hashtag.
I got a few, and I actually wanted to write the snide response, and I'm like, that would be a very bad example for Andy if I engaged with the trolls right now.
Hey, I come back a half hour later, and you're in a brawl.
Yeah, and I almost did a couple times, but I was like, part of me was like, well, I've shut down Andy's spirit now. Now I have to fill the void for when injustice is pervaded. But my theory still prevails, which is, if some guy with 4 followers says something nasty, let him sit there.
Well, the thing is, I never. When I started Twitter, I said I would never. I hate the whole idea of people bragging about how many followers, or conversely making fun of people for followers. So I thought I would never do that. But then you get these guys who are have 3 followers. You're telling me I don't. Ricky's got a bigger following.
Right, but I will never lash out at someone and go, oh, okay, Mr. 4 followers. What I will do is realize, okay, he has 4 followers. If I were to engage him, I'm giving him a much bigger audience.
That's true.
Than the 4 people who will see it otherwise.
Yeah, but you're the thing is your whole Twitter presence is manipulated. It's gone through a lot of branding workshops.
Well, sure,
and
I'm just trying to do it right, Andy.
That's right.
I'm just trying to do it right.
You think of yourself as the president, and you have a chief of staff. Well, I guess the analogy is it an analogy or a metaphor? When it's bad, it's neither an analogy nor a metaphor B, right? Now, but I did want to say this though.
Another way to say that.
Yes.
No, I'm just kidding.
No. Yes. No.
I was trying to make a metaphor for your metaphor.
Here's the thing. It got me to thinking, not even connected with me, although I know that you would enjoy nothing more than to spend an hour. And I mean, why was it the longest podcast of our career? Well, I'm not saying career, of our lives. So because you were tearing me apart, getting under my skin. So you would like nothing more than to spend this entire time finding other areas of my life that are. Luckily, you don't see anything else.
No, that was it. That was the single flaw.
You weren't around when I tied my shoes for many years, one bow and then the second bow. I never learned how to wrap the first one around the first lace.
Really, you didn't know how to tie your shoes?
Did I say I didn't know how to tie my shoes?
Kind of what you were saying.
No, I would make one bow, and I'd make the other bow, and I would tie those together. The shoes weren't untied. Right. I just didn't know the proper.
Tied really poorly.
No. There's nothing wrong with my method, Josh.
Yeah,
think of the one loop.
Okay.
Think of the other loop. Together they form a loop. Why is yours so better? Because you went one over.
I don't know. You're the one who brought it up as something you didn't know for, 50 years?
Well, it reminds me of things that I couldn't do in my life that seemed like insurmountable things.
Tying your shoes was one of them?
I think it was because I didn't feel as bad about that one because it seemed fun to me to do it.
Low stakes.
What's that?
It's pretty low stakes, really.
You haven't won any awards for your empathy or anything, right?
I haven't won any awards for any single quality of my life.
How about when they used to have the old Cable Ace?
Cable Ace, I was never there.
Was that the name of the Cable Awards?
The Cable Ace Award.
Well, that's the problem.
The Ace was the award for cable excellence.
The Acey? I aced it. Ace is also the nickname of Adam Carolla. They call him Ace.
Yeah.
And what I'd like to do now, and because you said this would be a good idea, is put in the Ricky Gervais feud behind me.
Nice.
To get get Carolla's people on me again.
Didn't you already do a Carolla feud? Don't recycle. Don't
No,
recycle.
but it is kind of funny. But I was going to talk about him at the speech because he is going with Dennis Prager to the college campuses. And this is, regardless of how I turn it into something that is painful to myself,
right.
This whole thing of saying the college campuses, you can't say anything there or the kids will cry, and how come you can't hire Nazis to speak anymore, or that the idea of free speech was about having Bill Maher. Free speech meant horrible comedians like Bill Maher get to talk at commencement ceremonies.
Right.
That's not what free speech was about.
No, but it includes those things.
Yes, but for example, I always can come up with the gray area. I probably said this before, but would you hire Adolf Hitler on his Mein Kampf tour just because he's saying terrible things? Why would you do that at a university? Why would you hire a Nazi to speak at your university? Now, I'm actually opening this up to the floor.
Right. Well, I mean, I think, like Ann Coulter is a better example, I think, than Bill Maher even, because Bill Maher is, at least a legit. Arguably a legit tent pole for free speech, at least.
Yes. He's too legit to quit, I've noticed.
Yes.
Is that MC Hammer?
It was, yes.
Okay. What do you mean? He didn't
I
die.
guess it still
is he dead?
No, he's not
So
dead.
It's still MC Hammer.
Now he's doing picture hanging things.
What is that, on commercials?
He's the face
I like that commercial.
of a picture hanging comedy, which is Stop Hammer Time, hang with these things.
I you know what? I wish him all the best.
So, but I think, like there are campus groups that will hire like Ann Coulter in for the very purpose of being incendiary,
Right.
And then a huge group of people will take the bait, and then you have a giant campus protest, But do I think Ann Coulter has a right to speak on campuses? Sure. Do I think people have a right to shout her down? Sure.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So then it's really up to the university to decide how big a shitstorm they want to have this free speech demonstration there,
But the insidious part of it, which is the alt-righty part, is the idea that the colleges have become these places where these kids are triggered and they'll snivel if you say something, if you bring up...
No,
and I think that's really dangerous. It's very easy for people to go to this... They don't remember what it was like in the 60s. Just like my dad told me it was like in the 30s, where this country could have gone Nazi or it could have gone communist.
Right.
It was really... so in the 60s, people were pissed off. Unlike now, where only I'm pissed off.
Right.
Well, now is the worst time for being pissed off.
Well, I mean, there was a real generational change. I don't know if I talked about this before, but one of the people I interviewed in one of my docs she was talking about being a post-war baby in England and, you know, being born after World War II, but still living among these sort of bombed out ruins of London, you know, which had been so badly bombed by the Nazis and took so long to rebuild. So they're growing up in this thing where this horrible thing had happened, but they weren't there for it. So there was just like this feeling of, wow, these people fucked this up so bad, you know? And so that was so much part, she was saying, of, you know, that feeling of the mid-'60s, that when they all came of age, of like, we literally have to do better because these people fucked it up so bad. You know?
Right. Or you know, like when I first read Mouse, that was very affecting.
Which my wife
to
teaches
me.
in her class. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because that's, who was that? Art Spiegelman.
Art Spiegelman, yeah.
The concept, she teaches it as a
text.
Yeah, because the idea of being a child of someone who was going through the Holocaust seems really difficult because they don't want to talk about it sometimes, or they do want to talk about it. So it's like you have this thing in your very life, but you don't know much about it.
Well, and that was true of so many, you know, Greatest Generation kids too. You know, so many baby boomers were kids, you know, were kids of fathers who went through this horror but never spoke of it. You know, but it had to shape them. You know,
I always thought like I would, you know. I always thought like if my parents had been through something, they would present it to me like in a describing it like a fantastic movie. You know, but these people, they're not that. They don't tend to want to talk about it. Some do and some don't. I guess it just matters.
You know, and for some it takes time. You know,
I can't imagine if I had gone through the Holocaust. With the amount of complaining I do,
Andy.
I know I would. And with the amount of complaining I do now. Can you imagine if things got worse for me?
No, I can't.
You're supposed to say you could see me come through anything.
Yeah.
No?
No.
My whole thing with these, I hear people who are 60, 70 years old talking about colleges, and I know they don't. It's just like hearing Seinfeld talk about playing colleges. He doesn't play a college. You know, I went recently back to my school, and the kids were incredibly... They were more edgy than me, you know. So I didn't see that, but I went to Binghamton. I don't brag, but I don't brag because I can't.
Yeah,
and the thing is, it's interesting. If he had that whole thing that went down, and you notice this a lot. That was going around this has been going around for 10 years about how the kids today they can't take any controversy.
Well, what's weird is when I was like on the road and I was doing colleges and stuff as a kid. It's like it was so the opposite. It was like I couldn't believe how conservative college kids had become. And this was like, you know, late 80s, early 90s, you know, end of the Reagan era, Bush era. It was kind of like disconcerting to me because I expected colleges to be these uber liberal places. Right.
You know? And did you get booked? Did you, like the thing is, the way some colleges are booked through this NACA.
These were NACA gigs mostly.
Those gigs tend to be more conservative because they have
to it's people who are doing actual official college activities
and they have to go up to a standard sometimes, or they're worried about someone complaining. But like you know, I've done some stuff on Tosh's show, and Tosh got this award for like, you know, campus entertainer of the year or whatever, and he couldn't be more controversial in his act. So he was like when all that was going on, he was posting a picture of himself with the trophy, saying like, it's just like you have this image where the image is of something, but the actual truth, who knows what it's like.
Well, and it's always, no matter what, it always comes down to, okay, well, how funny was the joke, really? You know,
right?
You know, because a super funny joke or the right exact attitude delivering even not that funny but an edgy joke makes it work, and no one gets upset. Because because you either know that the person telling it knows it's edgy and they're trying to challenge you, or it's just funny and you forget that there was anything incendiary in it, you know, because you're laughing so hard, you know. But when the joke isn't strong, you have a chance to deconstruct it and go, hey, that was homophobic, you know.
Right. Well, that is the thing about the thing about that Seinfeld, and did we talk about this already? The French King joke. I won't go along with it.
Yeah.
But the operating your phone like a gay French king. It says so much about Seinfeld that he reacted to not getting a reaction to that, to then say I can't play colleges anymore.
Yeah, that it was such a strong joke. How could it not?
Right. And yes.
How could that image not have resonated with 19-year-olds?
And his fear, the fear behind that belief is this is the stuff I come up. Not everything he comes up with like that, but is like about gay French kings.
Right.
But he's concerned, I can't go into these. What will I be able to make fun of?
Right.
And it's such a weird thing. It's like, to me, he could explore that, and it'd be very interesting to explore from his own, what he's thinking about it.
Whatever the case, I think, you're always on thin ice when you're fighting for the right to offend people.
But that's true. Right. And in fact, one of the things that I have objected to when I haven't liked stuff is that just because it's offensive doesn't mean it's good,
No, or bad.
Or bad.
Right. It's purely. I mean, it's two things. Is it funny? And what's driving your desire to tell the thing?
Yes.
Is your desire to amuse? Is your desire to challenge? Is your desire to just piss people off? Is your desire to show people that you're willing to offend and that you're edgy,
Yeah.
But ultimately, if the intent isn't funny, then people start questioning your intent.
Well, that was the whole thing with him using the N-word on his show, was because you can. It's like, this argument. Well, how come black people can use it and white people can't? Well, because we know where the person's coming from.
Right.
You know automatically where they're coming from, and so don't worry. And I would say to those people, don't worry about it. They know when to use it, but you don't have to. You're not using it,
right?
So just don't use it.
Don't wait for the green light because it's not going to happen.
Yeah, but maybe there would be a situation.
At best, you'll get a flashing yellow.
Yeah, I mean, Bill Maher, you'd have to be like he would have to march with Martin Luther King. And even then,
you'd think he would have learned better,
Yeah, but that was so.
But it was just, I mean, we've talked about this, but that was just entitlement, and that was just, him feeling entitled because he felt like, I talk about political incorrectness and fight against it all the time, so therefore, blah.
I wish his voice was like that because then you could identify it and you would avoid it. You know what I keep watching?
What?
But the wife doesn't want to watch it as much as me. She goes, I try to sneak. I'm dying up here on now.
Yeah,
and
she won't watch it anymore.
Well, she's not
against she doesn't want to watch you hate watch things. Is that it?
No, it's a confusing show almost.
Yeah,
but it's I can't get her back on the bus.
It's veered into bad for me.
Anything in the last two episodes? To me, the jumping the shark moment on the show was the wings eating contest.
Yeah,
because that to me is so outside of what the tone should be.
Right.
Like you cut back to our guys are head deep in a bucket of wings.
Right.
So anything's happened because I can't watch. My wife won't let me watch.
I understand. She's not wrong.
Well, what's going to be our next show if this show doesn't work out? Well, first of all,
next week is the season finale, so we'll be done soon with that.
You told me the show was ending a few weeks ago.
That was wishful thinking, probably.
Well, I didn't say this at the speech, but I wanted to say, and I'd written it on one of my many pieces of paper that I put in weird places to find, but I wanted to write about, it used to be when you go in, you pitch a show, then you could pitch nothing. You couldn't even say the person knew about stand-up comedy, like that the person, your lead character, has even seen stand-up comedy. That people don't relate to it.
Right.
Now everything is like, well, it takes place at a hospital. Could they take place at a stand-up comedy school?
Right.
So I was going to talk about that in the speech, but I couldn't get them all in, Josh.
I understand. There was just too much gold.
But I think that this trend might be peaked now of having stand-up comedy as the lead of every show.
I think so too. I think it might be on the wane.
I don't know what. There's no waxing. There's no official waxing or reining anymore because there's no official 3 networks, and I don't even understand what's happening. I don't know what's going on.
It's not for you, Andy. It's for the young people.
But didn't you used to love when the fall would come? You'd buy your school supplies, and you'd see
my Trapper Keeper.
Yeah, your Trapper Keeper, and then you'd see what the new Welcome Back Carter was it going to be.
Right.
That's my only thing I can go to. Room 222.
Will Salami be back on The White Shadow this year?
That was a great show. Oh, my God. I love that show, The White Shadow. How do you remember
Salami
his name being...
Laps.
Did they call him Salami because he was Italian?
I guess.
And nobody cared.
Yeah. He might have been Jewish even, Salami.
Oh.
Yeah.
I could have a character called Matzo Ball and nobody would care? Probably not.
You could actually have a character named Matzo Ball.
Hey, Matzo Ball.
That could be your new road comedy character.
So what is appointment TV for you these days, Josh? Appointment TV.
I don't have a lot of appointment TV. I watch.
How is that an expression?
I watch John Oliver's show.
Oh, John Oliver's show.
Once a week.
Right.
It seems like I catch it on Sunday.
You catch it when it's happening?
I catch, or
like your family
night of at least.
Your family will plan parties around it.
For sure.
Are you watching?
Oh gosh, yes.
Do you live tweet it?
A watch party.
And you live tweet it?
I live tweet it.
Do you remember when live tweeting something was an actual event? I should have known back then. This Twitter thing is going to be horrible.
When people started going, I'll be live tweeting the thing, announcing it as if it was an event, like as if that was going to change anyone's behavior.
Right. That's very similar to me. Josh just coughed, if anybody's wondering. And he's coughed again. But that's just like these things where you could all of a sudden have your own TV show, like on, what are those things called? Periscope?
Yeah.
Or what's the other one? Flip Around?
Facebook Live.
What's the one that looks like a big monster? Is Speed Bump? Maybe that was... What was the first thing I said? Snapchat. That's what I meant. But then it's like, yes, of course the next few moments of life could be you just talking into a camera. That's always been true. But why? Why are we doing it?
Right.
And but I'm worried that I would be the type of guy who would love it. So the people would convince me. You know what you need to do? You need to do a Snapchat every day from 3 to 3:15.
Well, I hate to say it, but we're kind of doing that now, Andy.
No, we are in a very high end art form of a podcast. This is pure. I'm surprised I don't come dressed in Capezios. Now, remember last week you said you were going to write down some notes. No, I'm saying if all else failed. Did you write down one note? I didn't write down one note.
I wrote down literally one note.
Okay, what is the note?
I was going to ask you about your New York trip because we talked all about Montreal, but then you continued on to Long Island with your mother.
This is very good because I think this is the kind of show people want to know. They want to know, originally I was going to do the show was going to be called 24/7.
Yeah.
And it was just I leave this recorder going on all the time.
Yeah,
and then just like release the next season would be winter,
right?
And then just everything.
But then your wife, of course, went 24/7 with Andy will never sell to anyone.
No, I didn't really mean to do it because it would have required a lot of things like checking levels. But I just would have loved to release, and of course on vinyl. Me just driving to the store.
Yeah.
And the ambient sounds like it's like a Brian Eno, David Byrne thing from the 80s.
Nice.
Get to this and then do you have any ice cream? Okay. Something like that.
Right.
But I don't know how long that would have sustained people's interest.
It's hard to say.
I flew to JFK and then I drove out to Montauk, which I have never been at. And I had my brother planned a party out there. At Montauk.
Montauk is like far out Long Island, right?
It is you are almost feeling as if you're going to end on a place where you look to the left and it's the North Shore, and you look to the left and it's the South Shore. And now I say that,
and that's it's like the others past the Hamptons, yes?
Yes, past the Hamptons. And I don't even really know what I'm saying when I say north and south. What is it north and south of?
It seems like it's east and west on Long Island.
I don't know about that. Because
like
if you
you're
go
going far out east on Long Island.
Right, but then there's a north and south of that island.
Uh-huh.
Come on. And it was beautiful out there. All I did was my brother has a place.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about that my brother has a place. That's not what this is about. And what?
He's a financial mucky muck, so
right. Yeah. So
those people have places on Long Island.
Places.
Yeah.
And then we just had so much fun. It really was great. I just relaxed, and I drank not alcohol but other things. And I don't know what I'm saying. I brought bagels back from Montreal for everyone to sample.
Yeah.
At Montauk, and they They are the greatest bagels in the world.
Yeah.
For some reason, they didn't taste that great on the island.
Bagels don't travel that well.
But then when I got the last few back home, because I kept a few away from the family, they were delicious back here.
Did you Did you do the thing where you like ran them underwater and then heated them up, kind of thing? Or?
Oh no, I don't know what you're talking about. So tell me what's going on. Tell me what's going on. We can turn this into a segment of the show, Josh.
Salvaging bagels with Andy and Josh.
Or just any kind of food.
Here's some bagel maintenance tips for you, Andy.
You rinse them off. Well, they have sesames on them.
Yeah, you don't actually rinse them off, but you just give them a splash of water, I think, to freshen them up, to give them, so you can heat them up and then get them moist.
Well, here's the theory about what you're supposed to do now, these days. And they say it on the bag of St. Viators.
Yeah.
You're supposed to slice them, put them in the freezer. You slice them in half, you wrap them up very good, you put them in the freezer, and then you put them from the freezer right into your toaster.
Okay.
Don't go the microwave first. But I don't know. It's an interesting thing. I'm thinking about writing a book about it. Why didn't it taste good in Montauk? Was there an anti-Semitic period in that? Are there ghosts? And then why, when I got it back to L.A., here's the problem.
See, you were trying to force bagels.
That's it.
Into a bagel pride zone.
That's exactly what I decided. It was once again my, and what do you call this? Is it hubris? When you walk in and you go, hey, how's everybody doing? Who's ready for the best bagel you've had?
Yeah.
Ever.
You're dead in the
water. Oh, no, but I
there.
have a good bagel. No, forget that garbage bagel that you've been claiming was a bagel.
Everything you've ever believed about bagels is wrong.
Why do I have to have that approach?
I don't know.
I should soft sell them. I don't know if they're good. You see what you think. But everybody, no one, you know how I know that they weren't beloved?
Yeah.
No one said anything about it.
Uh-huh.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
My brother has an infinity pool there.
Oh, nice.
And I almost went into the pool even.
Wow.
Do you take a dip?
Occasionally.
But what do you think? But let's say you go, let's take a dip. When you weigh it all out, when you get out, you're soaked.
Yeah.
You realize, maybe I shouldn't have gone in with my wallet. Whatever the thing is, do you feel it's a positive experience going in the water, or do you feel like me, I'd rather take a shower?
I've never have as much in me as I think I do. Like I get bored a lot faster than I thought I might.
Are you a good swimmer?
Yeah, I'm a good swimmer.
I am not a good swimmer.
I'm a very strong swimmer. I swam a lot when I was a kid. I grew up in Minnesota, so there's lakes and all that.
What is it? What kind of personality did you all of a sudden adopt, Mr. I can do anything? What do you, Mr. Super? Yeah. You go. Yeah, you want to hear how I heard it?
Yeah.
Of course, I grew up in Minneapolis, various lakes and natural barriers. Do you want to hear the sad story of me and my swimming career? No, but you're going to hear it anyway, right?
Sure.
I went to YMCA camps as a kid, and my wife thinks it's sad that I went away for 2 months when I was 8. And I think it is kind of sad.
That is pretty sad.
It's sad.
Actually.
It makes me question things. One of the first things I asked in therapy, why in therapy did my parents subcontract out?
My entire summer.
Yes. I loved it. It was a YMCA. I loved it. And we would swim in the lake. Mm-hmm. I hated it.
Yeah.
It was cold. I wasn't a particularly good swimmer, and I dreaded it, and I kind of dread it to this day. And they used to have minnow, fish, flying fish, shark, porpoise, or something like that.
I went to a YMCA camp, too.
Now, was this a Jewish thing that happened?
I went to a day camp. This is when I was about that age, but it was a day camp. So it's
right.
like you get on a school bus and go for the day. And come
so you
home.
haven't suffered like I did.
I went to Jewish sleepaway camps later,
terrible. That's terrible.
But not when I was 8.
Did you have to sing Jewish songs?
It was literally called Camp Christmas Tree. That was the name of the YMCA camp I went to.
Oh, but I thought it would be terrible if Camp Christmas Tree was the religious Hebrew camp you went to.
It would be.
And so you went to a day. That's a great name. See, I love Christmas. So, do you have a tree at Christmas?
Not anymore.
And what happened with that?
Well, for years, I would sort of be a conscientious tree objector.
And what was your theory?
I didn't want
to kill trees.
I'm a Jew. That was really my theory, and I don't.
You cheap?
No,
I didn't say that. You said that.
I'd pay for my wife's Christmas tree.
Just to overcompensate because you're afraid that people will stereotypically think of you as cheap.
No, I just wanted my wife to be happy. That was it.
Your wife grew up in what religion?
She was Catholic, and now she's Protestant.
Right. Okay. And she would allow. Okay. So there were some years you didn't have a tree.
Yeah. Well, there were some years we didn't have a tree. When our kid was still here, we had trees more often. But he was raised Jewish as well because his biological father was Jewish.
Right.
But Allison always kind of wanted a tree. But the fact that I had no enthusiasm for having a tree, or
why couldn't you muster up enthusiasm?
Because I'm not good at fake, phony happiness.
Now, here's the thing. Others would say that it's not about. I'm trying to get it because we got some notes from our producer this week. More arguments, more fights. Right. So I would start the fight by saying it's not about you, Josh.
No,
it's about her joy.
Right.
And so you wanted to bar her. From
I was really, I think, honest to God, I think I was defending my dead mother's honor. Because it would have bothered her to have a Christmas tree.
Really?
Yeah.
Why was she so anti-Christian?
She wasn't anti-Christian, but she was. She had this sort of fake. She was raised in a more observant Jewish culture than she lived in as an adult.
That's so interesting because I interviewed my mom. I don't mean to cut you off. I interviewed my mom about Quakerism. And I have it on audio, and I'm going to release it somehow or something. And so her experience was she grew up feeling very ostracized being Jewish because there weren't hardly any Jewish people in where she lived in Westchester. So she actually made her want to be Christian more.
Right. And I grew up with I had a bunch of Christian friends, so, they celebrated Christmas. But it was, it's not like I ever went, let's get a Christmas tree. I want to have a Christmas. I never dug in on wanting that, but it was like
I wanted it. I wanted.
Did you?
Because I read Charles.
There were Jews who did like Hanukkah bush.
But that's stupid.
Like
and
that.
I hate to call it stupid.
Yeah, no, it's pretty stupid.
Well, what is a Hanukkah? That's just a fake thing. There was the burning. Is that takeoff from the burning bush?
No, it's just like, these Christians have a fucking dead plant in their house for this holiday. Let's try to assimilate one notch more and get a Hanukkah bush. But
I thought that had to be a punchline. There's no actual Hanukkah bush.
No, there's not. It's literally it's their version of a Christmas tree.
They're calling a Christmas tree. They're not putting challahs on it, are they? Are they hanging matzo balls from it?
I've never actually seen a Hanukkah
I would like
bush.
to see a Sarah. And if you guys have Thought Spiral, the two fans, if you guys could send us a photo of a Hanukkah bush. I thought Hanukkah bush was the end of a very dirty limerick.
Ah.
I can't even go blue. I can just identify with the blue was.
Bluish.
Yes.
Funny you don't look bluish.
It's the... Oh, my God. That is rich. And they say that you come up with the best lines. I don't care what they say in the online polls that I've been conducting. Wouldn't that be terrible? Who do you like better? Which host do you like better in the Thought Spiral, Andy or John? Not even have a spin to it.
Right, this is
just present you with the votes.
AndyKindler.com poll.
Just present you with the results. No, that's a very no. I read, and if I've said this before, sue me. I read Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol when I was a kid, like 10 years old. I was just all of a sudden thought I should have been living in England and being a Christian and wearing top hats.
Really?
Yeah.
I had a door knocker tell me, don't read that book.
What's a door knocker?
It's a reference to A Christmas Carol, Andy. Jacob Marley appears in the door knocker.
I can't believe you would make that joke. I thought you were meaning that Jews came to your house and knocked on your door and said, please, don't celebrate Christmas.
No.
Okay, so let me ask you this. I know you have a look on the... I've seen that look before. That book is saying this topic is not gold. But I'm going to turn it around on you, and I'm going to say this.
You're going to turn gold into gold aid.
So you're saying for years you wouldn't allow Allison to celebrate her... No. So for years, did Allison also have mixed feelings about it? About the tree?
She just got bored of the tree.
Oh, she got bored of the tree.
Eventually, it was like she was like, "I'm the only one who wants the tree, and I don't even want the tree that much." So we stopped getting trees.
So basically,
there's no policy in place.
Yeah, you used almost what kind of tactic would that be?
Passive aggression.
Passive aggression.
It was passive aggression.
Passive aggression. Yeah. Are you happy about that, Josh? Or do you
yeah, actually, yes, because I don't like having a Christmas tree in the house.
Oh, where do you? We do.
It actually did bother me to have a Christmas tree.
Okay, now that you're not your mom.
No, but
why
there's
did it
enough
bother
of
you?
me because it's like this doesn't ring true to me. It was just like it made it feel like it was someone else's house when there's a Christmas tree here.
Because that's I don't even relate to it. I find it off-putting. No, so in other words, if you. Because,
but in fact, we don't celebrate Hanukkah at all. We celebrate Christmas. I cook for my in-laws every year.
Right. Okay.
I do a big Christmas
dinner.
So
now you're off of that bus, whatever that bus was.
We always celebrated Christmas, and I had no problem with that. But it's just like having a Christmas tree around for 2 weeks. It just makes it a weird feeling thing.
If it goes the other way in this country and they go turn the Jews again,
yeah,
you're going to have a Christmas tree and anything else that you're going to need to say, I don't know. What? I have not seen any Jews in this area. Right. Jews? Enough already with them. Well, I learned a lot about you, but there's a lot about you I don't understand.
What else do you need to know?
Well, I don't understand. I mean, I kind of know what you're saying in a way, but I really don't understand what you're saying in a way. I think if you were saying like people are phony, they're celebrating something they don't believe in, but I can't. But the fact that you once took a tree and threw it through the plate glass window of your home.
It was dramatic and cinematic all at once.
Now, one thing I get sad about at Christmas is that I am the biggest fan of Christmas that you could ever find.
Yeah.
And I
Didn't
cannot...
you come for Christmas one year when I cooked prime rib and stuff?
I think so. That's when yes. And I love Christmas. I love it more than... I love anything, more than my wife, more than me. I love Christmas, but I can't watch any of the movies anymore. Can't watch one of the movies. Any of them. I used to watch A Christmas Carol, 3 or 4 versions.
Really?
Every Christmas. I watched the one with...
Did you watch the Rich Little one from HBO?
That's the one that Joel sent me. It's kind of a takeoff on Mr. Magoo, kind of? I forgot what it is.
No, it was W.C. Fields as Scrooge.
Oh, my God.
And I think, he has like Truman Capote as Tiny Tim. So
God bless us, everyone. Yes.
And I think Carol Channing's probably in there. Johnny Carson's in there. All
so
rich.
He's
playing every character.
Right. So in one special, he ruined our desire to have impressionists, our desire to have comedy.
He almost killed show business.
He almost killed show business. Yeah. Our memories of these people.
Yes.
Are killed because of him.
So go to YouTube, check out Rich Little's A Christmas Carol.
It's not hard, too. It's not like there's an army of lawyers blocking you. Yeah, so I would watch the one with George C. Scott. The best one, in case anybody wants to know, the best one is the one with Alastair Sims.
Yeah.
And that's the best one. And the best line is when he goes, I don't deserve to be so happy. That's my favorite line. And then the other one is, the second best one is the one.
That's kind of your motto, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true. The other one is the Hollywood one that has like Barry Moore's in them, I think, and all those people.
I don't know.
And then George C. Scott's pretty good. And then it's like no. And then I used to watch. I love Mr. Magoo's.
Mr. Magoo, always a classic.
I love The Grinch. And then The Grinch is great, but I can't watch him anymore.
Oh, Scrooge, you've done it again.
And didn't you love the original Grinch?
Sure.
Because I remember you telling me, forget that, Andy. Jim Carrey's involved in a project now that is going to knock your socks off.
You'll forget the
original Grinch.
You're a mean one,
Mr. Grinch. You know, when he was on the set of that movie, you couldn't talk to him as anybody but the Grinch. He's one of those actors.
Yeah.
He's in his character.
Was it Boris Karloff? Who played the actual Grinch in the cartoon?
In the original one, it was Boris Karloff as the voice of the Grinch.
Right, except for Thurl Ravenscroft did the song.
You're a mean one.
He was also Tony the Tiger.
I never knew that.
Yes.
And Put a Tiger in Your Tank was the very first time I got a huge laugh, which I've said this story before. If not on this podcast, other podcasts.
Sure.
I haven't said it on this story?
I don't think so.
I misread a sign on the billboard saying, it said, put a tiger in your tank. And I said to my parents, what is Pewter Tiger? and the car went nuts. I killed. I didn't even know why I killed, and then that made me think. You know what would be good for me later? Maybe I'll go into a field where I end up in a feud with where people think that there's something mentally wrong with me. But then, you know...
What was the first time you got what's the first time you remember getting like a big public solid laugh intentionally? I
don't remember that being that way. I remember it being like, my friends thought I was funny. I remember that stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember I performed at my junior high school graduation. I performed a takeoff. Do you know what declamation contests were?
No.
They would be like, you would read, you go, "Oh, Captain, my Captain," and you would do a poem and act it out, kind of a thing.
Okay.
So I did a takeoff on the declamation contest, and the teacher teaching the kid how to do it, and the rest would be history, Josh.
And you killed?
It killed.
Yeah.
It killed. And then that's how I knew that I should go into music. I don't know how I got into this particular cul-de-sac.
I asked you what was the first big laugh you got.
Oh, how about you?
The first like really huge like tear down the room laugh I got was like probably 6th grade or 5th grade. We did the spring concert, and this guy Jason Blumenthal and I performed the song "Purple People Eater."
Is that a novelty song?
It was a novelty song, yeah.
Okay.
It was a one-eyed, one-horn, flying purple people eater.
We can't get these rights,
That's
Josh,
okay.
and they're policing us like crazy.
But so he did like the whole song, you know. So what it was like this song, and then the voice of the Purple People Eater would come in, and so it was like him doing the song, blah 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 blah, and then I'd come in at the end and go, "I wouldn't eat you because you're so tough," and do this voice, and it tore it up.
How did
like
it not
hundreds
kill?
of kids in this auditorium, and there's like 2 shows. There was like the K through 3 show and the 4th grade through 6th grade show, and it was like this legendary. I was like became like this legend for this voice, you know.
Oh my God!
Just doing that.
Well, people don't know this about you. Yes, they do know through the podcast. I don't know if you remember this character that you did early on in the podcast.
No problem.
Do you remember? Does it ring a bell? The baby character?
No, it doesn't.
You don't remember it?
No.
Well, you did an amazing job. You kind of like would cry like a baby, like, "Wah," and it was
Like,
so
"Wah," like that.
No, it was more. You have a great voice for impressions, and for years we dined out on your. Jose Feliciano.
Hee-haw.
Yeah. So.
Oh, penis got head.
Hee-haw.
Hee-haw.
Now, the funniest thing, because I'm in the business. I don't know if we're in the business. So to me, hee-haw. There's nothing funnier than hee-haw.
Hee-haw.
And I'll give you another example of someone who made me laugh like that. When Daryl Hammond would do Chris Matthews.
Yeah.
One time he just went, habada hada, like that. And that's all I need to
hear.
hear.
The abstractions are always the funniest.
Habada hada.
When you just get down the guttural.
You watch it
when you can do an impression of someone with just a guttural noise, you know.
Well,
that's what's great about all the Minnesota musicians. Like Dylan, you can do with just, you know, you're doing Dylan,
right?
You know, you're doing Prince. You can do all the Minnesota people.
Okay, so here's how I see if you had become an impressionist. A professional impressionist.
It might go a little something.
Yeah, you would be demonstrating.
Like this.
You know, you really can do any voice. If you're from Minnesota, then boom, an hour later, Joey Durante, ladies and gentlemen.
And then you can do the My Pillow guy. Here, machine worshipable.
This My Pillow guy.
we
talked about him, but he is really... Why?
You were right, by the way, that he does wear actually sort of pajama-y clothes. I was thinking it was more work, Jay Leno work shirt, but it was actually, I've seen it.
Explain to me how you can patent a fill.
It's a patented fill, Andy.
What does that mean, Josh?
Fill.
Explain it to me.
There's a lot of just, I'm
going to be, it's Shark Tank. It's Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Well, our next contestant is Josh Weinstein. Josh, I hear you have a pillow to sell?
I have more than a pillow. I have a sleep system to sell you.
What?
I have a sleep system with a patented fill. There's a lot of sleep systems. Some might call them pillows.
Are you calling a pillow a sleep system?
Well, it's more than a pillow because of the patented fill. There are other pillows with public domain fills that really, they're going to cripple you. They will cripple you if you try to sleep on them.
Neck to break?
Snap like a twig.
But can you explain to me what is patented about the fill?
Well, it's every single aspect of the foam that I put into it.
How much foam?
How much foam, the shape of the foam,
how you can
foam engineering.
And because I wanted my pillow to be popular, I made it machine washable.
It's machine washable right here in Minnesota. Oh, yeah.
Why would anyone order that? And I'm telling you right now, if you do order it, put in the checkout code Kindler. And it's the same. He offers the same deal often. You get another one.
Yeah, that's a standard TV offer.
Now, have you put any more thought into rhombus space? Because I really think...
Yes, I still think it's a dead horse.
Hi, I'm Andy Kindler for rhombus space. Do you want to stand... Was that you? Oh, see, now there's the thing. A lot of people...
That was as belittling as I could get with as few syllables.
I see that they're oftentimes...
I might be able to do... Well, let me try... Yeah, I could do it with one. I could do it with one.
A lot of anger. You have a lot of anger.
No anger.
I know. That's what humiliates me. Or what was it called? Anger. It makes me
enrages
me.
Yeah.
Is that you are so well reasoned or whatever the word would be, like not in control as a human.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
hey, you're 3 days into not tweeting ridiculous shit to the world. You're doing fine.
I love the way we have this talk, and you're very empathetic.
Yeah.
And now you're remembering it as me tweeting shit to the world. Don't you think that maybe
ridiculous shit?
But don't you think that there's another side to that story? That those could have been, as we look back in history, as some of the greatest tweets of all time, like an Andy Kaufman prank.
No, you blew the ending. Had you stuck the landing? Yes.
What are you going to do about the fact that people are asking? I know they're asking you because they're asking me about Instagram.
Yeah.
Do you have Instagram?
I do have Instagram.
Well, why do you? And I don't have one.
I don't know.
What's the point?
That's your shortcoming, Andy.
5'4.5" is my shortcoming.
That is some
I couldn't believe it, Josh. I went to this doctor's appointment. They could have told me anything.
Yeah.
I don't look good.
Right. Hey, little circus guy. Did they say that?
No, but they were thinking it. And what I do...
Do you want to hop? Do you need help hopping up on the table, little circus guy?
They
say stuff like that.
The one lady she kept like as if I was a dog. She kept like trying to get me to hop up.
Yeah.
But that was outside the grounds. One of my favorite jokes is, "Are you sure was he connected with the hospital?" Right. So like I was in the hospital and this guy came in and he said, "I need to change your bathtub now." Was he connected to the hospital? Was he It always works.
I need to change your bathtub?
Forget the details of the jokes. That's why you don't often enjoy some of my more outlandish material. Because you're so like, what's the meat and potatoes of the joke?
Someone tweeted about last week's show that every 5 shows I try to kill the Kindler spirit.
Why is that? Now that he brings it up. You know what I'm thinking, though? Because last week, I was very happy with the show. I mean, my part of it.
Yeah.
And, I work out a lot to try and carry you, Josh.
I know.
And it's very heavy.
I know. That's, I don't mind.
Here's what you won't hear in the show, probably. And you've said don't talk about the back scene. What's it called when you talk about the...
Behind the scenes?
Yeah, but they call it something. Don't show
Backstage.
Don't show the guts. Don't break the fourth wall, they say.
Don't show them how the sausage is made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would anybody want to see? I don't even like sausage to eat it, let alone watching it made. Folks, I don't even like sausage.
And he's jotting
I'm jotting it down.
He's jotting it down.
I don't even like sausage.
Wow.
I don't even like it. All right. Well,
my big issue is I had 2 big fat martinis at the smokehouse about an hour before you came over. So
tonight?
Yes.
This is not acceptable. You're supposed to have drinking coffee.
I've got coffee as well.
Yeah, but you're taking the coffee to get you out of the the greatest smokehouse.
I was at Conan with Tom Segura tonight.
Well, that's a story.
I know.
Why don't we tell that story?
I was just waiting for a fucking opportunity.
Okay, so what happened? Tom Segura did stand up, or he did the panel?
He just did panel tonight, and he was really good.
Were you in the green? Were you in the dressing room?
Yes.
And have you done Conan?
No, I haven't done Conan.
Oh,
yes, I know you've done Conan.
Did you know I did Conan?
I did. No.
Well, did you stand up ever on Letterman at all?
No.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Did you know that I had?
No, I didn't. Either did any fucking buddy else.
Did you know that I did at age 40, the Young Comedian special? What if this character did not realize how ineffective and horrible it was? I don't know, Josh. I did a little thing called...
Did you mock movies with a gumball machine when you were 18? Huh? Did you? Huh?
Now, I am a big fan of Conan, and I've always been a big fan of Conan, and I have done the show once in the new. Basically, the first thing is whatever we're going to talk about, I have to establish the one-upmanship.
Right.
Whatever you're going to tell me is going to pale to comparison with me sitting in that makeup chair, schmoozing with the makeup person. So I did that. I love Conan, and I also love Andy Richter.
Yes, and I didn't get to meet either of them tonight because they don't come back. They don't do the rounds.
Interesting, because when I did the show, everyone was in my dressing room.
Yeah, that's interesting.
They were like, "Wow, Andy."
It was funny though when the sound guy came in and he walked over to me to mic me up instead of Segura. I was dressed slightly better than him.
And what was he dressed? He didn't have a. What is he? What does Tom Segura wear?
He was wearing a cool jacket, but it wasn't like I was wearing a sport coat, and he was wearing like a jacket, a fashion-y jacket.
And this takes place. I forget where they film. Universal.
Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if you're aware of this, but I used to be a recurring character on the show Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah.
They shot at the Warner Brothers lot.
Yeah,
I just bring it up.
I used to work right next door to the
I
radio
don't
staff
bring
on
it
a
up.
different show that wasn't successful.
You did?
Yes.
What was that?
That was A Young Person's Guide to Becoming a Rock Star on WB.
Wasn't that Andy Richter? Huh? No. Who was that?
That was
John Ricci.
John Ricci was the showrunner.
I know everything about everything that ever was.
Yeah.
The year that Raymond got picked up, my show I made a pilot called The Breaks with Michael Chiklis did not get picked up, but what did get picked up was Rick Reynolds.
Remember how you were saying I had a story?
It's so terrible. It's so terrible. The only thing that's not terrible there's something charming about how oblivious I am, right? Couldn't you say that maybe?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you went down there. Now they tape at like 5 in the afternoon?
It was like 5, yeah, and it was good. And my regret is that Bob Newhart was on the show, and I didn't get to meet him.
Well, why didn't you get to meet him?
Because it would have been like literally knocking on his dressing room and going, "Hey, I'm a comic."
Well, don't do that voice. He doesn't want a voice like that.
But that's
You mean why don't you go to his dressing room and go pretend you're on the phone call? Right. Hello,
5 minutes, Mr. Newhart.
No, you pretend you're doing one of his phone call bits.
Oh, right.
But
it was sort of funny because on the show it's like they they announced the guest, the announcer thing during the opening of the show, and it was like legendary stand-up comedian Bob Newhart, comedian Tom Segura. It was so weird.
That is a weird thing. They probably didn't catch that or didn't realize.
Apparently not, but it was pretty funny. But Tom was great on the show, and
he's very funny.
Yeah.
And he's in the movie that you made.
He's in, we delivered today. We sent it off to the distributor today. I'm very excited about that.
Do we know the company it's with?
Yeah, it's with Comedy Dynamics.
And they're very. I have some business I'm doing.
I know. So let's steer over to you, Andy.
No, Josh. No. We talked a full 4 seconds about your thing. So you sent it. You shipped it off.
Shipped off.
Will it be available as a DVD?
I don't think it will ever be DVD, but you can. I think it'll be iTunes downloadable. Yeah.
And will you ever be able to see it?
Yes, you will be able to see it. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Not downloadable just as an audio thing.
No, actual movie.
Is it still eligible for festivals?
No, because I didn't apply to any.
Enough already with the festivals. Why should they steal your thunder?
Well, you do festivals to get distribution. And I had it.
Boy, you sound angry about the whole distribution thing.
I'm angry about everything.
You told me distribution was the greatest
entire decision to do documentaries because.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Because of how much money you've lost, or how hard they are.
Just just how long they stay around in your life.
Right, because you don't right now appreciate that you made at least two great films.
Well, thank you.
You don't appreciate it because there's a lot of work that went involved with it.
Yeah.
But as an audience member, as someone who goes, and you know me, I'm, if nothing, a theater goer.
Sure.
These documentaries are going to add, we need more of them. We need less of these Real Housewives, which I can't stop watching.
Yeah.
And we need more because what you really want is actual documentary. And there are many of them, but people can't see them all the time. So you are adding to the rich fabric of American life. And I think of your documentary, of DeBar's all the time. Because I really wasn't familiar with him that much, except I knew that the song that he had,
right.
and then you could see how he intersected with all these different people. So it's fascinating to me. That makes a good documentary.
Well, thank you. That makes it almost worth.
Did I get that right? Did I read that right? That
was good.
Okay, because did I miss anything?
You forgot to say how brilliantly directed.
Oh, you know what else I like about them, Josh?
What's that?
How brilliantly directed they are.
Oh, that's nice of you.
It's
to
like
say.
it's nice.
You know, I directed them.
Oh. So that's going to be delivered. Now, you made a fortune on this movie, on this documentary.
Oh, God.
And you've launched some careers.
Yes.
Tom Segura, you launched.
Yeah, it's all on me. That's why he's on his third Netflix special before the movie comes out.
You told me that before this movie came out, he didn't have a chance.
Right.
And then hopefully this movie will push him. Your Netflix joke was one of the best jokes of the evening. At the speech, we've probably gone over that already.
We
but
talked
still
about, but we can always talk about how well my joke did in your speech.
Susan is going to help next year. I'm going to allow other people to bring things to the table. Susan's helped anyway, but I'm going to try to avoid waiting to the day of the thing and screaming like a banshee.
Well, I have some building suggestions.
You
but
do?
We'll talk about it in like 6 months.
How do I know I'm going to be invited back? Wouldn't that be a kick in the head?
This 22 was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen to Andy, 22 and out.
You said that with such gusto. Was that a takeoff on 13 and out?
It's sort of like that.
Because Tim Conway used to have a bumper sticker, not a bumper sticker, his license plate.
13 and out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my career. That was my TV writing career for several consecutive years.
Now, you're wealthy from writing on TV shows, right? Because that's what happens.
No, I have a house because of that, but
I have a condo, too.
Yeah.
See how I squeeze that in?
Yes.
I prefer having a homeowners association.
That's always better.
Actually,
than
the people...
autonomy.
Was that?
That's always better than autonomy.
But you know what? I like the people in my board, and I like the people in my building. I think I'm going to get into the condo politics.
I think that's a really good idea.
Shouldn't I be more involved on a day-to-day level with where I live?
I think absolutely. I think you should really start digging in on the smaller issues.
Yes. I don't know. I haven't fully gone over the budget.
Yes.
I don't know why they
You could become a landscaping troll.
I think that that wouldn't be that different from what I do on Twitter.
No, exactly. But you could actually have uncomfortable people in your actual building this time instead of in your computer.
Oh, I did want to say one thing, though, that I did learn about not getting into the specifics of the Gervais thing, but I did learn that, when people say, I'm not getting my feelings hurt, but we do get our feelings hurt. I get my feelings hurt.
Yes.
Right? So I notice that the certain things that people say, they don't usually get me on your act sucks. Like, that doesn't get into me. Right? But it is kind of fun. Like, the other day I was just reading all of the, like, if you can read these horrible things and don't remember that it's you, it is actually kind of funny because it is problematic of how they write them.
Right.
You stink so bad and you just terrible. Someone
wrote this thing today about it was some slam at our show. It was like a slam at you, but it was like and they wrote and they tagged Ricky Gervais, and that was like and they had 3 or 4 followers or whatever.
Right.
It was just like. It was like, hey, Ricky, look, I burned Andy. But he actually like wrote it he had like had a typo in the first one. And it was like the super lame joke. And so we wrote it again with the corrected typo. And that was just adorable as far as I'm concerned.
Did Ricky like it?
No, I didn't follow up. But it was just so funny to me that he tagged Ricky Gervais as if like, "Hey Ricky, look what I did," and that he actually fixed the typo and did it again.
Right, and the thing that it's terrible. The thing that I realize is that when people are trying to get me, they're trying to. Because one of the things that happens on Twitter that happened to Leslie Jones and a lot of friends of mine, happened to Jen Kirkman, is people try and get them.
Sure.
You know? And it's very easy and to be gotten. And I've been gotten before because as soon as you show vulnerability, it's like so I just think that whole aspect of it is very interesting to me because I can see how the reason why you persist something is because you kind of want the court of public opinion.
Right.
You know, you want the court of public opinion to respect you, and that is a dead end, my friend.
It's a dead end. It's a complete dead end.
It's a complete dead end. I find the thing that's happening to me.
The whole "don't feed the trolls" thing.
I know.
There's nothing truer. You know?
Yeah, Daniel Tosh tweeted me that many months ago.
Yeah.
And Tom Green. You know, have you interviewed him at all, or
no?
But he told me he just instantly blocks everybody because he knows he used to be a prankster.
Yeah.
So he said he knows where it's going.
Even blocking to me is like gives them too
bad.
much credence.
It does.
Know?
Yeah. You should. So, but it is interesting that. But then that does get into the OCD thing. That is the core of the OCD problem.
Right.
I will somehow make everything all right by monitoring everybody and making sure everyone likes me.
Right.
Or doesn't like me for the right reasons.
Right.
And what if I get too healthy that I don't, you know what I'm saying? You worried about that?
Not yet.
I have therapy tomorrow and I'm already nervous.
Are you?
Because I don't write things down enough when they occur to me outside
You worried
therapy.
you don't have enough new stuff?
She's heard my childhood stuff.
Right.
She's tired of the childhood
Right.
material. I got to come up with something fresh with her. I also realize another one of my problems is that I'm always putting on a show for people.
Yeah. Like that, I imagine that's got to be there's got to be an aspect to that at least early in your therapy session.
Do you see me as trying too hard in
I
normal
can just see you
conversation?
as being aware of that.
Yeah.
But I mean that's every comic though. I mean, and that's why comics like hanging with other comics too, is because we have this acute sense of when we're being boring, you know. Right.
That's actually amazing to me that when you see comics who could be really even hilarious comics, but then they have blind spots, they're not self-aware. To me, being self-aware is to me almost what immediately makes me resonate with someone.
Yeah, it's like to me self-awareness is perhaps the most appealing quality in somebody, you know.
Yeah.
Just because I can abide all sorts of flaws and craziness and all that thing,
Right.
but I think when someone is self-aware about, you know, there's different kinds of self-awareness
course,
too.
too much.
There's those guys who are like, yeah, I'm an asshole, you know.
Because whatever is a strength, like in comedy, can also be the Achilles heel. So, like a lot of times when a joke doesn't work and I comment on it, but then I'm sometimes aware, like the 14th comment about the
Right.
joke not working is just
At some point there are some
defensive.
audience with which you're talking them into the fact that you're doing poorly, you know.
And I'm just aware then that I said like a million times. So there's probably people listening to our because I want to stop saying right after you say something. You're just not.
This
worrying about it.
podcast has made me aware of every single horrible verbal tick that I possess. I say, you know, a lot. I do all sorts of things. And
You know, I say right or whatever the thing is, but it's such a weird thing because it's really when you're searching for words,
Right.
you do say, you know, like not just me, but everybody, but many people do, and you do. But that's why I got into this big thing where I would get so angry at sort of when people
Right.
because I thought sort of was the intellectual's way of saying
Right.
you know, and it's like
it's actually more just a British thing.
you think so?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's frequently a British placeholder.
It's a sort of this. It's a sort of way of that you're not conscious. But then I realized, why am I so hard? I think I'm a little hard on people.
You?
I get that feeling. I'm a little judgmental. This is something I never thought about myself. I always thought of myself as more of a Jesus kind of, live and let live, turn the other cheek.
Right.
And now I'm starting
That's why
to see.
you did. That's why you had the 22 years of shit talking, people bashing speeches in Montreal.
But now I'm seeing that there may be a judgmental side to me.
There might be.
If I live to be 90, and I hope I don't, I want to live forever. I really do.
Do you?
I don't buy the whole idea that you have to die.
No.
No.
What's the alternative?
I guess you would be able to renew your memory as if it was a memory chip, and then you could live forever. But your skin would be all like bone. It wouldn't look good.
All right.
I haven't figured that part of it yet.
So if you could put your memory into a different flesh bag.
You make it sound so unappetizing. Well, that's why your product, Flesh Bag, never took off. He tried to say.
It was a bad candy.
I do love robots, though. I love those robots. The robots that look like real people.
Yeah.
I can't get enough of it. It's just I'm on board.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're. What's the difference between a robot who's funny and a person?
The robot doesn't believe that they should have your gig. Is probably the difference between a comic and a robot.
Yeah, that is. They don't have jealousy,
right?
But have you had a Roomba type?
A robot never says, "How'd you get that?" A robot never says, "Who books that?"
A robot never says that sex was bad.
Right?
What? Did you ever have those automatic vacuum cleaners?
The Roomba is what
Exactly.
you're saying. No, I haven't.
Do you believe it's a real
No, because
thing?
I have dogs.
Dogs. What do they say? And it's even great if you have dogs.
No,
But they don't say that.
I don't think so.
What would happen then? Would it be a viral video?
If I had the energy.
So after you went to Conan tonight
Yeah.
with Tom Segura,
Yes.
then you went to the smokehouse.
Went to the smokehouse with his manager.
Do I know his manager?
I don't know. Probably.
Oh, you don't want to say, right? Why should we bring Tom Segura's? What did he do to deserve this?
Exactly.
And did you? And then you had Margaret. Is the smokehouse a good? I've
had
never been there.
martinis. You've never been to the smokehouse?
No. Is it a good restaurant?
Yes and no.
That's what always gets me nervous.
But it's a Hollywood tradition. It's like that's what people have been doing after work at Warner Brothers for 60 years.
If you could guarantee me that Tom Snyder would be there, I would definitely go there. Didn't he used to go there all the time?
Yeah, and all the the Tonight Show guys, and you can feel Tom Snyder there. Let's just say that.
I was fascinated with his show, but I didn't like when
The original show, the
yeah,
Tomorrow
the original
show.
show.
Yeah,
I loved watching it. There's nothing to watch when you can't go to sleep at night.
yeah. Well, your hours are nothing like anyone else's.
I'm like Einstein without the reason to be up.
Right. But you sleep in shifts, it seems like. Just seeing, even on Twitter, I can tell that you sleep in weird patterns. You wake up in the morning, but then you go back to bed for a few hours, right?
Yeah, so when I had to answer on the questionnaire today, do I get up in the evening to urinate?
Yeah.
I answered that I do.
Yeah. For 3 hours.
They never ask, they never say, how do you know when you're done? No, I am up like that. And I think that I'm getting a handle on my addiction, which is the OCD in general.
Yeah.
The OCD is not just Twitter.
Right.
It's everything.
Right.
And I could say, the one thing I could have said was, I will not do any, I will deactivate everything. Right? Deactivate your account.
Right.
I can't do that. I want to be able to live in the world where I can control myself like a normal human being.
Well, have you in fact felt better the last few days?
Absolutely.
I mean, I know you've been tweeting me, but I didn't,
Absolutely.
But that's good.
Yeah. Well, the thing that resonates more than anything else is, why do you want to get up in the morning scared to see who's threatening you?
Right.
But the thing is, what's always hard in life is when you're having the fun when it's working out well.
Right.
You're being kind of funny or you're being kind of smart, and then you ramp it up, and then all of a sudden you're back where you were.
Right.
Hopefully that won't happen to me again. Hopefully through your master class, the Josh Weinstein master class of how to be on social media.
It's just for me, it's just why bring fucking a negative shitstorm into your life when there's enough negative shitstorms in life anyway?
Well, I think the other thing is that I just find everything's very frustrating now. I don't know where to go for news. I don't really want to go to Twitter. I don't want to go to Facebook. To me, still is problematic. You say something, everyone's talking in that same area.
I'm still not on it.
So, I'm trying to do a thing where I keep thinking he's going to get impeached any day. So I do kind of want to watch every minute of it.
Yeah.
But then I can't watch it after a while. I just want him to be gone.
Yeah, no, I feel this weird responsibility to watch news every day, and it's not good for my overall productiveness.
Well, I think that things are going to get better. Not really. But I think I'm going to start saying more fake positive things.
That's,
And also, I'm going to... And my relationship with Twitter will get better and better. Why do I have a relationship with it?
I don't know. I don't think you need a relationship with it.
But I also would like to stop watching cable news. And then that's my new goal.
It kind of is I don't know.
You don't watch that much, right?
No, I watch a lot. It's on all the time in my office.
Why can't we watch something? Isn't there anything else? I mean, the worst thing to me is when I try and find something to watch on TV.
Yeah.
I know there's good things there.
Right.
But it's very hard to find them. Genre, documentary. It could be 20, 30 minutes later.
Right.
That's got to be my issue, right?
It's yeah. I mean, I have a fear of commitment when it comes to TV at this point, because now it's like, it's you don't want to binge watch. I don't want to propose marriage to a fucking show.
I know that is a thing, but you have not made the Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, I have not done yet. No.
Neither one of us have done it yet. I can't imagine me making that.
I can't either, because...
Well, you played Dungeons and Dragons a lot.
No, but my dad, we had Dungeons and Dragons in my house a lot because my dad represented one of the creators of the game in a lawsuit against the other creator in TSR Games.
Wow.
He represented a guy named Dave Arneson, who co-created it with Gary Gygax. And so my dad was, for years, involved with this Dungeons and Dragons lawsuit. So he kept bringing... My brother got really into it, and he kept bringing Dungeons and Dragons intellectual property into the house to try to read through it and stuff. And then...
Oh, and is it one of those cases where they both ended up beating each other up to the point where there was no money?
I think the settlement was ultimately that my dad's client got everything that was Dungeons and Dragons, got a piece of that. But Advanced Dungeons and Dragons became a separate trademark, and he didn't get a piece of that.
Wow.
So, but yeah, no, it was like for a few years, my dad was very embroiled in this lawsuit.
Well, but I don't know if I wanted to. You don't know how much you can say about. But was it like a good versus bad, or just like one guy saying something and the other guy saying?
I was kind of too young to get the real specifics of what. I'm sure that there are some nerdy listeners out there who probably know the actual story.
Well, the Thought Spiral chat rooms will be lighting up.
But yeah, no. But it was just it was. I think it was ultimately settled, and that was the terms of the settlement was. Yeah,
he
got his piece of Dungeons and Dragons, but not Advanced.
I just hope they're still friends, Dave Arneson and the other guy.
I think Dave Arneson. I think they might be both dead, but I know Dave Arneson died. And
I hope that they while dead, that there's no feuds. Right. And I still can't believe I've never played a video. I mean, I've never really gotten into playing video games.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't consider it a shortcoming. Although I am 5'4.5", according to
you can't be much shorter coming than that. But
You're relishing.
I grew up. I mean, I grew up. I grew up as patient zero age for video games. Almost.
What does that mean?
Patient zero is the first person with a disease.
Oh, like the AIDS thing.
Yes.
I don't know why I had to make it.
But that's where the phrase came from.
Wow. Yeah. So you were into them, or you were?
I was totally into them, and Atari, and in television, and we had a TV Pong machine in my house when I was a little kid.
Pong I loved because it was something that was at my speed. I could understand.
Right, but so I've had video games of every single phase of
and still,
I still have a current system, but I'm afraid to play it because when I start playing video games, I suddenly all of a sudden have a work ethic.
Oh, you mean what do you mean? You
I can play for 8 hours.
You can and love it.
But then just keep going. It's addictive,
Wow.
And so,
did you ever do the thing with the?
For a long time, I I was like when my first moved in with my wife, I was sort of embarrassed by, like, I would rather she walked in on me masturbating than playing a video game, because at least that's something grown men do.
How about while playing Dungeons?
And then she bought me an Xbox, because apparently she'd rather walk in on me playing video games. My dogs are about to come downstairs.
Look at this.
Yeah.
I wish I could turn the dog. Is there anything else? Oh, we still probably should.
You can say
While Josh's dogs are being let out, I want to remind you that you can let the dogs out by downloading the Thought Spiral. What are they? What are they thinking, Josh?
They're thinking, that dog's walking by. We better run it off.
And what's your theory about what are cats thinking? They're just being smart.
They're thinking, hey.
Now, Josh, we've gone now. I think we've been doing this for 3 hours now. What are you hoping to achieve by prolonging the show?
I don't know. Just, I hate admitting defeat.
Well, do you feel as if do you feel there were topics that were not covered tonight?
I'm sure there were topics that weren't covered tonight. I don't know that they're hot front burner topics, though.
You mean, but we're never going to be.
I had stories, but I know that's pointless to try to tell those.
Because then it requires somebody to actually listen to what you're saying, and to move it along,
not switch it over to their story.
Yeah, that was probably the quickest switch in the West, wasn't it?
That's good.
It started out with you going with Tom Segura to do Conan,
right?
And then all of a sudden it was I like
doing
Conan.
Your set. You're doing your last Conan set.
Well, it's obvious that Josh, who claimed when I started the podcast, he didn't want to do it. No, he started the podcast. I said that he claimed that he would always know the perfect way to end every show, but you obviously don't. I have to constantly be, otherwise we would still be going from the first test show.
Right.
Because of your fear of having a solid ending.
Well, my plan for tonight was to have 5 pianos here and to end it like a day in the life on a giant cord, but they never showed.
They didn't throw a piano off the roof or something, did they?
No.
What did they do?
They all played a giant G chord at the end and held it.
Did Paul die before this happened?
He died because of it.
And Billy Shears, what's he doing now?
He is working with Mr. Kite.
And this is great ad-libbing. Well, I'm going to say, if you want to contact us, keep writing the emails.
Please write us some emails at thoughtspiralshow@gmail.com.
When is this? This is coming out post Minneapolis?
Nope. We're doing a live Thought Spiral taping at Acme Comedy Company in Minneapolis on August 24th at 5:30 p.m.
Oh, my God. You better get
go
tickets.
to acmecomedycompany.com for tickets or call 612-338-6393.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
That's
All from memory.
All from memory. And Andy will be at Acme that whole week from the 22nd through the 26th.
Something like that. Yeah.
I'll be there the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of that week.
Unbelievable.
Doing sets.
This is gonna be historic.
So you could come to both the podcast and the show.
Can you imagine it?
Wall to wall Jew fun.
When people want to see Jews,
and it's hard to get wall to wall Jew fun in Minnesota. Let me tell you.
You know, there was a time period where it was hard to get wall to wall Jews because of all the
right. Usually they would be lined up against a wall, and that's.
But
not good.
folks, we don't want to end on that note. No. Do you have a catchphrase? Until next time. I'd love if we had something like that.
Yeah, but it would get
terrible.
old. We'd get meta with it like the second week. I said, how about this? How about we hold our breath until the next show? Ready?